And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. LeBron James fanboys. LeBron James fanboys. Welcome back, my people. So, LeBron James doesn't have any friends. LeBron James, the leader of the 4 and 6 kingdom, he must not have any friends. He can't have any friends because if this guy had some real friends, they would make sure he never got in front of a microphone. There would be a friend standing by his side at all times, prepared to snatch the mic anytime he was in front of one. But lucky for us, this guy will just keep exposing himself. So on the latest Cheat the Game, Just the Game, Mind Games, Shortcut the Game, Shortchange the Game podcast with the Duck, the Deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 kingdom, guest appearance by Luka Doncic, and the latest enabler for LeBron James, Steve Nash. They talked about various things that I didn't watch most of, and honestly, the only reason I came across this was because shout out to 93Z. I saw a video of 93Z talking about this, and so I said, let me go back and check this out. And so I'm starting to realize this podcast really seems to be it really seems to be something LeBron James does just so he can address what real basketball fans have to say about him, just so he can try to put more narratives on the truth. So this latest thing, LeBron James actually talks about, hey, I see social media and I see people saying I have no bag, but it's all about the fundamentals. MJ, he just got to spots, and Tracy McGrady, he just got to spots. And so yeah, LeBron James goes into all this BS. So without further ado, let's check out the Duck, and we'll be right back, people.
Michael Jordan wasn't out there dribbling 1,000 times, to get to the spot. He get to a spot
right,
and raise. Isaiah Thomas, as great of a handle Isaiah Thomas had, Isaiah get to a spot and raise. All these guys that I grew up, Grant Hill, get to a spot. I'm bigger than you.
Straight line.
Big Dog Robinson, I'm bigger than you. Allen Houston, all these great players, that I grew up watching and admiring. Penny Hardaway, yes, they could dribble the basketball, but it's no Tracy McGrady. Even as great as Tracy's handle was, it was, I'm bigger than you. I'm gonna get to the spot in the least amount of dribbles. Kevin Garnett, it's
good footwork, get
just
up over
good
top.
Footwork, get over the top. If I'm a bigger than you and I get you on my shoulder, I get you on my hip, I'm gonna use my size. I see it all the time. It's like, I'll be on social media, it's like LeBron has no bag. It's like, I'm sitting over here with
what is that?
LeBron has no bag, and I'm sitting like at 50 billion points.
Right, leading scorer all time in the NBA, no bag.
That
proves the point.
Yes, just play the game the right way, and I hope that our generation, our younger generation, don't get, swamped by saying, okay, I need a bag, I need a bag, I need a bag. Work on your game, know what you're going to be good at in order to help the team and prove the next year to be a better player.
Right.
If you come in as a guy as my offensive game is not developed, come in, you defend, you get extra possessions, you get extra rebounders for the guys. Okay, and then next year you work on your game in the offseason. It's only one or two, if 3 guys maximum. That's going to be handling the fucking ball anyways.
Right.
All right, my people. Round of applause for the Duck for continuing to expose himself more than we ever could. Thanks to the Duck for doing this podcast. This way, He makes our job a lot easier. So he starts off bringing up all of these players. Like I said, he talked about MJ. He said, I heard him say Grant Hill and Kevin Garnett and Tracy McGrady and Isaiah Thomas and Penny Hardaway. All these people who are much more skilled at what they do than LeBron James is. But the first thing I want to say about this is LeBron James trashes past eras when he has to live up to the standard. But when it suits him, when it's for him to try to, again, really, when it's for him to try to make excuses or excuse his lack of skill, then he wants to try to point to past eras as, see, these players, that their game was simple. And LeBron James, this is true. Their game, they made the game easy, especially when you're talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan made the game efficient. But let's not be ridiculous, LeBron James. You are not included in this category. You are not included in this category because your game lacks the depth of these other players. To me, first of all, when people talk about a bag, there's a couple of different ways you can look at it. You can look at it as a bag as in Kyrie Irving, who has all the tricks, or you can look at it as a bag as in Michael Jordan, who is so deeply rooted in the fundamentals that he has infinite ways of beating you. And I would argue that having all of the fundamentals is going to be much more valuable than having all the tricks. But however, LeBron James, you have neither. We recently just watched the tape of you working out with Hakeem Olajuwon, and you look lost, you look disinterested because you would actually have to put some work into learning something that you are not naturally good at. But yes, LeBron James, you have neither. You have neither the tricks nor the fundamentals. Your game lacks depth. Very much, and I'm starting to notice, to me, similarly to Anthony Edwards. Now, Anthony Edwards has more of a bag than LeBron James, but Anthony Edwards, his game lacks depth. This is why he can be so easily shut down, especially facing double teams, and that's because his game lacks depth. LeBron James, your game lacks depth, and this is the reason why you have so many failures. This is the reason why you're so poor in the clutch. It's because your game lacks depth. You literally is head down to the basket or it's shooting a three. If you're guarding LeBron James, you're really not going to have to think too hard about the potential for what could happen. You're either going to guard with him driving hard to the basket or he's about to pull up for a three. It's not that hard. So yeah, LeBron James has neither. But like I said, LeBron James only talks highly of past eras when it suits him. That's the first thing I noticed. So then he actually mentions, he says, hey, I see on social media where people say I have no bag. And to me, that was just hilarious. Because again, for someone who LeBron James fanboys like to defend and say, hey, he's a billionaire and he's so successful, well, you would think a person like that wouldn't really be paying attention to what social media has to say about them, except LeBron James has a desperate need to be seen as something he is not. He has a desperate need, and it is... honestly, the thought process is really, LeBron James fanboys, maybe you could help me out with this. Like, why would you be seen as something you are not? Why would you beg the public for approval for something you are not? You know, if you're not a musician, why would you desire to be seen as a musician? You know, why would you spend so much time and money and effort getting people to call you a musician when you're not a musician? You know, now that may be a little exaggerated example, but it is the same thing. It's LeBron James. People don't think you're the GOAT. It's that simple. Accept it and move on with your life. Accept it and please move on from the NBA. But either way, you know, this constant need to plead and try to persuade people from Clutch Sports, I truly don't get it. I truly don't get that thought process. But again, I guess you have to be delusional to get it. But just so everyone knows, LeBron James hears and sees what you post on social media. So make sure you kick it in the high gear. Everybody, make sure you kick it in the high gear and let the guy know how you really feel about his game, and continuously remind him that he is not the GOAT. Continuously remind him that he is not top 5, top 10, and continuously remind him that he shouldn't be ranked because he has cheated the game. Despite what he says, we all see the truth. So yeah, people, LeBron James is watching, so make sure to remind him. Something else he said during that clip is he said you should do what you're good at. He said if you're not that great offensively, well, you should come and play some defense. And that was a confusing statement, because I'm thinking, LeBron James, shouldn't you play defense even if you're good at offense? I mean, you're not good at either. But again, this is this new way of thinking. Again, I have never heard of a two-way player. When I first heard that term in regards to the NBA, I had no idea what it was. It was like two-way player. What do they mean by this? And when I found out it was a player that played offense and defense, this, people, is when I knew the modern NBA is trash. My people, this is when I knew the modern NBA has to be trash, because now we're given like a special label for doing something that's just part of the game. Offense and defense is part of the game, and if you are not doing one or the other, like, that's a problem. But especially playing defense, because that's the effort part of it. That's the effort part of it. That's the no glory part of it. But that is the part that is very necessary to win games. That is the part that's about hustling and diving for loose balls and rebounding and, you know, and moving your feet to stay in front of your man. You know, it's about doing all those things that take effort that you're not necessarily going to see, that's not necessarily going to get you on the highlight reel. That's not everything about defense is going to show up on a stat sheet, but it is very necessary. But LeBron James says, hey, if you're not good at offense, then you should be playing some defense. So just for future NBA prospects, just know it's one or the other. If you can play offense, don't worry about playing defense. But if you can't play offense, then you should focus on some defense, according to LeBron James. But now, again, LeBron James is not really going to focus on either. LeBron James is simply going to focus on filling up the stat sheet by any means possible and ducking responsibility at every turn. Meaning he is willing to score all game until the team needs him. When the team needs him, he is more than willing to pass. When the team needs him, LeBron James' lack of depth in his game gets exposed. And I think more than having no bag, what LeBron James really gets criticized for is not having a go-to move. Like, go look at Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's clutch shots. Go look at them, and again, they all look controlled and methodical. Like, this is something they know they can do. Like, okay, if I need to get off a quality shot, I have X amount of moves to do so. I know that I can accomplish that. And then go look at LeBron James. Go look at the game-winning attempts of LeBron James, and they're all Hail Marys. I haven't seen one LeBron James game winner where he looked poised like this is something he's done a million times. I haven't seen one. They all look like Hail Marys because they all are Hail Marys. So yeah, but and then oh yeah, so the other thing he says he has no bag. And he was like, well, you know, if I don't have a bag, how did I get like 50 billion points? So typical LeBron James having to pat himself on the back and let everyone know that he's the all-time leading in score. Well, LeBron James, since you follow social media so much, you should also know what we think about your all-time leading scorer record. And that is, we think nothing about it. Why do we think nothing about it? LeBron James, because you're a stat patter. LeBron James, because you play in an era that has gotten easier and easier for you. LeBron James, you flop and you do everything to give yourself an advantage except put forth effort in playing some real basketball. So yeah, LeBron James, you may have 40,000 something points. Let me not get this wrong, people. It's 50,000 something points because for LeBron James, they decided to combine regular season and playoff. They decided to combine regular season and playoffs to make it look more impressive for LeBron James. But yeah, LeBron James, since you watch social media and you know that people have say you have no bag, you should also know that we don't care about your 40,000 points either. That it means absolutely nothing to us when it comes to the GOAT debate. And last but not least, I have one more very short clip to play. It's of no consequence, but I just thought LeBron James sounded so ridiculous on this clip that I had to put it out here. So let's check out this one last clip.
How do we get kids to appreciate the fundamentals rather than the highlight reels, the mixtapes?
We have to teach them. There has to be teach.
I think that's a great word. You know, I think unfortunately there's not enough teaching.
It's not enough teachers.
Right. Not enough teachers. Great point.
It's hard to teach if the teachers don't know what the hell they teaching.
Right. It's more about scheduling tournaments and games and
it's a lot.
All right, people. I hope you caught that. So Steve Nash said, how do we get kids to focus on the fundamentals? LeBron said it has to be taught. and if you thought he made a mistake, he said it again. It has to be taught. Not it has to be taught, but it has to be taught. Okay. Yeah. So LeBron James, I'm really not even sure to say. Like, this guy tries so hard. He tries so hard to sound like he's saying something important, to sound like he's saying something of consequence, to sound like he's saying something enlightening, to sound like he's providing some kind of wisdom, but this guy just fails miserably. I mean, that was one of the dumbest sequences I think I've heard. And because it just really sounds like like someone who is trying to sound intelligent. Let me play this for you one more time. We about to get out of here, but let me play this one more time.
How do we get kids to appreciate the fundamentals rather than the highlight reels, the mixtapes?
We have to teach them. There has to be teach.
I think that's a great word. You know, I think, unfortunately, there's not enough teaching.
It's not enough teachers.
Right, not enough teachers. Great point.
It's hard to teach if the teachers don't know what the hell they're teaching.
Right. It's more about scheduling tournaments and games and
it's a lot.
So people, I hope you caught that. If you had any question whether Steve Nash was officially part of the 4 and 6 Kingdom, was officially part of the enablers, look no further than what LeBron James said. It has to be teach, and Steve Nash said that's a great word. My people, Steve Nash acted as if LeBron James just said some word that hadn't been thought of, a way to explain it that deserves some attention. Teach. That's a great word. Yeah, okay, Steve Nash. And and then it goes on to say LeBron James said that it's a lack of teachers. Well, for the sake of everyone, let's hope that the teacher who taught LeBron James is no longer teaching. Let's hope that much. But anyway, we gonna hold up, people. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of the duck, the deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 Kingdom, addressing the fact that, hey, he sees that people says he has no bag. Addressing the fact that, hey, players of the past, they were more efficient. This is basically what you're saying, LeBron James, is that in the past, it was more about efficiency of your game. And, anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.